Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me as always in the co-host seat is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Good evening.
And we are excited because we're going to have a fun show talking about romance anime. Angela will be joining us in a little bit, so uh, her D&D game night has ran a little bit longer than expected, so hopefully she'll be joining us before the end of the show and we can get her takes on romance anime and some other topics that I was thinking about. We also want to remind everybody Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media. For the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books, be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, and commission needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox, that's KAYCIFOXX, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight talking about romance anime. We're going to talk about the shows that we've been watching this season and also some guest announcements for upcoming conventions that we frequent. Which I think we'll start the show off with that because I was teasing Darren a little bit before the show about that Anime Boston and Kineticon both have been announcing guests. Their Kineticon has announced 8 guests thus far, including Ryan Bartley, Nicholas Roy, Stephanie Sutherland, Sean Chiplock, who we've had on the show, Kelly Baskin, who we had on the show last year, Lala Burzins, which I'm not sure of who she's voiced, AJ Beckles, and Mela Lee. So some good guests there. Sadly, we won't be attending Kineticon this year because of moving, but still like to get the guest announcements out there. So if you can check out Kineticon, it's going to be July 20th through 23rd down in Hartford, Connecticut. Definitely check that out. Also, Anime Boston has announced its first group of North American guests. And they include voice actors Brandon McInnes, J. Michael Tatum, Emmy Lowe, and Sarah Natoceni. And I don't know if you know who Sarah Natoceni is, Darren, but that was the one that I thought that you would be excited about.
I do know who that is, actually.
The voice of Ash Ketchum for 20 years.
I know, right?
And now that Ash has won the championship and can retire, there's no need for her to stay, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe she'll pick up some other characters.
Well, did you ever meet Ash's original voice actor
I did
or
not.
voice actress?
I have not, no.
Neither have I. And I'll never forget, in season 9, it was very interesting to hear the voices change halfway through it and took some getting used to, but got slightly easier as the battle frontier raged on.
And good evening, Ross. Thank you for coming in, hanging out with us tonight. Tonight we did want to talk about romance anime, the shows that are cutesy and make you feel good or make you hate the people. You never know. The good, the bad, and the ugly of romance anime. Also have other topics to touch on later on as well. But I know, Darren, lately you have been enjoying some good romance anime.
Yes, I have been. There's actually quite a few good shows out this season. Um, there are several that I'm not currently watching that Ross has been hounding me to watch specifically because they are attributed to romance. But the predominant ones that I am watching this season are Tomo China's a Girl, which has been awesome, as I'm sure you are aware.
Oh yeah,
And then, of course, Nagatoro season 2 because Nagatoro is quite the character. You may start out hating her, but she does grow on you.
Just something about that cat outfit made her absolutely adorable.
Exactly, that too. More so than our student council president. I mean, not student council, but art club president.
She was annoying. I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of annoying.
See what else we got this season. Oh, probably my favorite one this season. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. Mahiru is adorable, and I will show you the picture that killed me a little bit later, along with one of my friends, and I will let you be the judge. Do
Did you already
y'all
put? Is
agree
that
with
the one
me?
you posted in the group chat?
Yes, it was.
I
I mean, what's your opinion on it?
mean, she's cute.
I'll put it up later. But also watching Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible, which gives major teasing Master Takagi vibes. So if you're a fan of Takagi, then Kubo would be an excellent one to check out. It's incredibly wholesome and is, yeah, I would basically call it Takagi 2.0. The only difference is the character has no interest in getting back at her. He just rolls with it.
Now there are some shows out there that don't get that were fantastic romance stories that just did not get any love. Shows like Snow White with the Red Hair was fantastic. That was a great romance anime. Um, Also, The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent was a really good romance story. It was kind of a slow start to it, um, but it was still a very good romance anime. Um, Kami-sama Kiss is a good romance anime that doesn't get a lot of love either. And
All of
then
which I have not seen.
we have The Ancient Magus' Bride is going to be getting a second season finally, but that was a good romance anime in its own way.
I can agree to that. It was definitely one of the more interesting ones.
And I know you like to compare The Angel Next Door with another good romance anime for with Tonikawa.
Of course, because the level of wholesomeness is, yeah, I don't know how to phrase it. The amount of wholesomeness in that show is incredible.
It is, and I see Irons in the background.
I see him too.
Hi. He stops and looks at me. I say hi. He's like, okay, hold on. I gotta get in position. Now I look cute. And it's interesting, uh, and hopefully Angela is able to join us um, sooner rather than later, because it'd be interesting to get her takes of some of the romance animes that she likes. And there's a big difference between like good romance animes, bad ones, and like not all romance animes are good. Not all
Hmm.
rom- not all romance animes will hit everybody the same. Getting the message from Casey from the other room, Say I Love You and Anonymous Noise are also good romance animes. I have not seen either of those, but I know she likes those.
Hmm. Let's
And
see.
Ross is saying he's not watching Tomo-chan, not watching or have not seen Nagatoro.
I
Uh,
highly encourage it, sir. You will not regret it.
I'll admit, Ross, it took me a while before he talked me into it, and it actually is pretty good. And Nagatoro is 10 times better than Uzaki.
I, as much as I love Uzaki, I can agree to that.
I will say that season 2 of Uzaki has grown on me a little bit. Getting a better understanding of how her family is, you can kind of see, and that's I would Uzaki is a romance anime per se, but I can't say that it's a really good one. It's entertaining and annoying at the same time.
Hmm. Of course, it's always better when the two of them are drunk, because that's when the feelings really start to show.
Pretty much.
I don't know if that's how it is in real life, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I've never really um, had issues with that. Try to get the camera to work to focus a little bit better. There we go. But it's been like I said, there's lots of good romance animes out there, and you know it's funny to see what some animes will do to try to put a romance element in there.
Or what they will turn that romance into. It's amazing the spin what they consider romance.
And and Russ says not watching Uzaki either. When the shows were coming out, I looked up their personalities, and I just don't like the aggressive or pushy women instead of equal feelings. I guess I like pure romance, which there is nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's why we all really liked My Dress Up Darling, is because it was just a pure romance that you could see slowly develop over time.
Yep. And that's why, oh wait, he's watching The Angel Next Door, I believe. Tomo-chan, he's not watching.
Yeah. And in a way, I can kind of feel for Tomo in that. Um, but at the same time, when she can sit there and beat the crap out of dudes twice her size, you can understand his point of having a tough time looking at her as a girl, except when they go to the beach.
Yes, because that was fun.
That was hysterical. His reaction to seeing her in a bikini top was absolutely hysterical. I won't lie.
I like it that they just piled everything on him and expected him to carry it, and then he just got fired up.
And I also like how they are using Carol to be an instigator a little bit.
Yep. Even if even if you don't like her, she's there for a reason.
She's still an annoying twit, and I said that last week, and I still don't like her. But
Um, by the way, you said you're watching subbed, right?
for Tomo,
Tomo.
yes,
Yes. Okay, I didn't know if you've listened to
I
the
think.
dub to see how Carol was doing as the English version, because
Or
remember
am I watching?
she is the she is the English and the Japanese cast or voiceover.
Oh no, I'm watching it dubbed.
Oh, you are watching it dubbed?
Yeah,
I thought you were watching it subbed. My bad.
but they're dropping the episodes the same time because there's been 7 episodes dropped. I think in both English and in Japanese.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I've been, and Crunchyroll does not even give an option right now to show it dubbed or to show it subbed. It says that it's dubbed and subbed, but I pulled it up on Crunchyroll. It just comes up for the dub, where a lot of the other shows come up with the option to switch back and forth.
Oh
But it has
wow.
been very entertaining, and I know when I started it, I did binge like the first 6 episodes. Also, know that there are a few shows out there that are going to have a few week delays because of COVID and stuff of that nature.
Yep. Sadly, but the fact that that the shows haven't been flat out canceled is still encouraging.
Yep. And Ross says, Darren, right now I'm watching Angel Next Door and love how she looked innocent in the photo that was sent to Amane, but she looked, excuse my words, like a lolly because she's built small.
I could agree to that, but eh, like he said, she is small. She is naturally on the smaller side. I mean, if you look at the two standing side by side, she is rather short. Man, I'm going through the anime that I've watched, and a lot of them have a romance tag in them.
And there's some animes that have a romance tag that would surprise you.
Yep, like Chika the Coffin Princess. Like I like Chika too, but I really didn't see a whole lot of romance in that one.
Because going through my anime list, you have Sword Art Online is on there, Darling in the Franxx, DxD,
Well,
uh,
DXD does qualify.
Love Shinibio and Other Delusions, which
That
you can slowly
definitely
see them.
that if you've seen the finale for that one, have you seen the finale for that?
I'm not sure. I've seen like 4 different things from it, so I'm not sure if I've seen the finale or not.
Did you see her sister's happy ending?
I don't remember.
Well, if you don't, do you mind me spoiling you?
Oh, go right ahead.
Oh, her sister got married,
Oh, that's cool.
and right before then, I think she and him tried to elope, and naturally, big sister got in the way. Wedding happened, and they continued their relationship after that.
And good evening, John. Yes, my dress up darling has romance.
Yes, that's considered.
That's probably one of the better romance animes in recent history. Um, one that I kind of forgot about that's romance, the pet girl of
Sakura,
Sakaruso.
so
Yeah,
yep, that definitely is.
I saw that many moons ago. Oron High School Host Club, um, Date Alive is considered romance.
Yep.
Rent a Girlfriend, as we said, romance anime takes on many weird shapes. I kind of lost interest in it in the second season. I'm not gonna lie. I did not
Season
finish
three.
season 2.
Season three's on the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, that's been confirmed.
Quintessential quintuplets. I never finished the first season.
I did. I did not go through with the second season.
Spice and Wolf. That's a classic romance anime. Familiar Zero is another kind of classic romance anime.
Mine.
Hagani. That's That's a weird romance anime.
Bunny Girl Senpai. I love my bunny girls, particularly my. Now, did you ever watch Elfen Lied?
No.
Because ironically, that's under the romance tag also. But probably the best romance anime on this first page of my anime list, I would have to give it. And sorry, but Dress Up Darling is good. But the true champion of this first page is Horimiya.
I I know you love that show.
Oh, I did not see Kaguya on here until just now. But I love Horimiya and I love Kaguya. I kind of regret not going to see it in theaters Valentine's Day, but I will see it soon enough.
And you have my team romantic comedy snafu.
Origaru, yes, especially in the last season. Me personally, I think he makes the right choice.
Rosario Vampire. Here's
Not,
one that we talked about last week. School Days is a romance.
yeah,
Just a very twisted one.
yes. And here's one I forgot about: Yamada and the Seven Witches.
Yeah.
He falls for Yamada. And then probably one of the best romance that I've seen, that's a short series, and you've probably seen a whole bunch of clips from, but never knew the name of the anime, is Cersei Children.
It sounds familiar, but I
If
don't
you
think it.
saw the one where the guy was getting onto the girl for being a delinquent and basically forcing himself onto her inadvertently, just just see, basically it kept edging her on till she was giving in because she was getting flustered. That would be the one. That's just one of the eight or I think there's like 4 or 5 couples they follow in that series. They just keep bouncing around.
Another good one, and I'm actually surprised I enjoyed this show as much as I did, and I only discovered it by random. Um, Thanks to staying up most of the night at Anime Boston with hotel roommates that were building a full fursuit on Friday night, and um, I think it was Sentai had got a whole like one channel in the hotel that they kept playing like the first two episodes of random shows, and so I got introduced to My Love Story, and that was actually really really good. I don't know if you've seen that one or not.
I I haven't, but I'm well aware of it. It's one of those ones that if you are aware of romance anime, that is one of the ones that will get recommended to you for obvious reasons.
I definitely say check it out. I think you would like it.
Speaking of like it, I found one of your favorite romance animes way down here at the bottom.
I see Kiss Sis.
You'd be correct.
That's
Cause
another one
like
of those weird ones.
cause like it or hate it, that was a legit romance.
It was. And another legit romance that was a bit on the unique side, Sankarea.
Yes, that was one of my first animes. I
And
think that
that
was
was
like the
really
fifth or
good.
sixth anime I watched. And then To Love Ru, of course.
Of course. John in the
'Cause-
chat says Fooly Cooly.
Wow. And the reason To Love Ru was more of a romance was definitely due to the first season, mostly because it focused on Lala and our lovely main character. Rito.
And then seasons 2, 3, and 4 turned more into the harem.
Pretty well, thanks to Momo.
Yeah.
And then you got the show that if they would have just talked, we wouldn't have had a show.
Gamers.
Yep. And right beside it is one of my early animes also, Baka and Tess. Because it actually is a romance anime per se, because there are multiple attractions to the main character from several different girls, along with several other side romances.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, the forced romance between his best friend and the student council president. Or was she just the smartest in her class? I don't remember.
Another interesting romance anime, and I remember watching this. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Nana.
I have not seen that one.
That one was very interesting. Um, it's a story of two women who meet randomly on a train and find out that their first names are identical, Nana. One dreams about, you know, having a wonderful romance with her boyfriend and a long life of love and everything, while the other one dreams of becoming a successful musician.
Hmm. And lastly, on this page, well, actually, I got two to point out. One is one of my favorite, in the words of Giga, spicy romances. And that, of course, would be Domestic Girlfriend.
Yep.
And then lastly, the one that started the team, basically the waifu wars of social media. That, of course, would be Nisekoi back in 2013 or 2014. It was all hashtag Team Chitsuge, hashtag Team Onodera, hashtag Team Marika. And they would flood Facebook and Twitter everywhere you went. And then that's really what started the waifu wars on social media.
Another decent, I can't say it was great, but it was a decent show that did have the romance element in there. And there were times, they were definitely flip a table times, as I like to call it, when you see two characters that have feelings for each other about to show it and something happens to ruin the moment. And that was Wise Man's Grandchild.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that anime was well, it was more fantasy than anything.
but there was the romance elements in there. You could see the romance develop between the two main characters.
Most definitely.
John's talking about Your Lie and April has romance. It was a very good anime. You could see the romance developing, but I found it too predictable for me to say that I really, really enjoyed all aspects of it.
I still have not seen it.
I I'm sure people have spoiled it for you. If they haven't, I'm not going to be the one to spoil it. It was good, but I could see like some of the stuff happening in that I could see. Um, Other good romance animes, Fruits Basket was good. The original and the 2019 remake. I haven't finished the remake of Fruits Basket, um, but that was a good uh, romance anime.
And one that I have not personally seen, but is on the list and is highly rated among many of my friends, is Suki ga Kire. Um, I don't remember the plot points of it, but they several of my friends have said that was one of their favorite romance animes of all times,
I have never seen it. It's got an 8.07 rating on my anime list, so
which
it's
is one
definitely
of
a
the
popular
higher
one.
ratings for a romance. Because I think the highest rated romance is Kaguya and Horimiya.
And Ross is saying, don't forget about the anime romances of Ah My Goddess, Dance in the Vampire Bund, Actually I Am, My Bride is a Mermaid, Le Portrait de Petite Cosette, and Yeah, I love Wise Man's Grandchild. So he
I
agrees on the Wise Man's Grandchild side.
mm, I have not seen Oh My Goddess. I have seen Dance in the Vampire Bun.
That was fantastic.
Hmm.
I seen Ah My Goddess. That was good. Um, My Bride is a Mermaid. That was it wasn't great. It was good. It was kind of like I would put it mid tier, and I also laughed because I picked out the main character's English voice actor in the first 5 seconds just by the scream.
Hmm.
As soon as I heard the scream, I'm like, "Oh, Todd's in this. Todd Habercorn,"
Yay.
because it sounded like Skune. Other romance animes that you probably may not think of as romance anime include "And You Thought There's Never a Girl Online," Smart in Another World with My Smartphone, which season 2 comes out next season. I'm excited.
My girlfriend is a gal.
That one that one was just weird.
Mm, I liked it.
It I watched it, but like I remember watching it, but I can't really tell you much about it other than it was a perfect Jamie Markey character.
Uh, and if you want Yuri romance, we have
Citrus.
Citrus. And if you want classic Tsundere romance, Mayochiki.
I was just gonna say Mayochiki was another good one. If
Su-
you want
uh,
stupid romance, you could have Aho Girl.
yes, but if you want multiple forms of romance, including the wrong kind, Yosuga no Sora. The anime actually plays out like a visual novel, with every 3 episodes being a different girl's route. And of course, the last 3 episodes are the true route, which is something that we try not to talk about.
We have other good ones.
They
And I
consider they consider Call of the Night romance.
well, it kind of is. You
I
can
mean, it
see,
kind of is.
and it got an 803, which is a very high rating. You were talking about anything above 8 is really highly rated. Um, and I mean, Call of the Night was a fantastic anime. The art style was amazing. What they did with turning the night into something intriguing and beautiful was very impressive. The storyline was really good. I love the fact that there was a little bit of a role reversal between the two main characters and between episode 1 and the last episode of the first season. I hope they get more. Um, it was just such a good show. I know Angela wasn't big into it, but it really was a good anime. And yes, I can understand the romance aspect because you can see the feelings are developing. They may not have come full fledged yet, but you can see them developing. And then you have Darren's favorite, Robot Love, with Chobit.
I have actually not seen Chobits.
That was actually pretty good.
That's definitely an older one.
And Heaven's Lost Property, that you can definitely tell that was a rom com, especially when you incorporate flying panties into it. Just off of that alone, Darren's like, I need to see this again.
Sure. Um, let's see. The World's Finest Assassin. All the girls he meets end up falling for him.
I,
And
Shikamori is not just a cutie. That's one you had talked about.
yes, because we were coming off the high that Marin gave us, and was like, can Shikamori follow in Marin's footsteps? But she could not.
The
Not
answer
not
is no.
not to the same level. She is good, but she is not that good.
Recovery of an MMO Junkie was actually a really good show, and I almost hate to admit that that was a wonderful like rom com. I thought the story was well written. The characters were enjoyable, and it's not an isekai.
Oh wow.
We talk a lot about isekais on the show here, and shocker, that one was not an isekai.
And the one above it that I'm pretty sure you haven't seen. Did you watch Kaze no Stigma?
No.
Older anime. Your main character right there in the middle, and the guy to your left, that's your two main characters that develop romance. And then the guy's younger brother over on the right actually had a successful romance with one character until she unfortunately had some stuff happen.
And then we had shows like Orisuke, which you enjoyed. I'm trying
Yep,
to remember.
I need to finish the I can't remember if it was a season two or a movie that was supposed to wrap that up.
Were you the one that was telling me about Orimo?
Yes, I like about to say I actually enjoyed Orimo.
And Ross in the chat said Darren uh, Sukarere is
Suki
about
got killed.
Tsukigakare is about a boy who wants to be be a right and girl both in middle school who grows a relationship with each other, and he tries to apply to her high school but get denied because her school is an all girls school. Other other ones on the list here: My Next Life as a Villainess, All Roads Lead to Doom.
You
I,
skipped over We Never Learn.
I didn't see We Never Learn.
You didn't see that one?
No, and I didn't finish My Next Life as a Villainess either. I started it and then kind of dropped it.
I did season one, but not season two. And then we have our high school DxD lookalikes.
So I
Dakara
can't.
Boku wa Hika Dekinai.
So I can't play H.
Yep. Lazara is adorable.
And we're skipping over multiple seasons because on the list here is also showing Rosario Vampire Season 2, Familiar Zero F. My
Yep.
mental choices are completely interfering,
With my school romantic comedy.
which
I
that
love
was absolutely bizarre.
that was hysterical. I loved it. And ooh, I see one that I forgot about and I saw was mentioned on the previous page. because when I think about that one, I think about this one because they aired within very short times of each other, and that would be Scum's Wish, which is a very realistic and sad romance anime because it's all about unrequited love. And then the one right here, Love and Lies, is quite the predicament. You have basically, when you're in high school, your partner for life is predetermined. And there are very rare exceptions where if you find someone that you actually like we do in the real world, then you can get that broken off. And very few people have ever done that. They normally just end up satisfied with whoever they're paired with. Well, now you got a boy that is paired with a girl. He actually likes a different girl, but he's also coming to like his partner also. So, and all three of them start to associate with each other.
Interesting.
So it kind of becomes a love triangle. I
I know I'm
love
gonna
it.
jump over a few, but another good.
Ross, sorry, but Ross said he likes the silicone girl in Mental Choice.
Next one that I see that I've watched and was really good was the Testament of Sister New Devil.
Oh my. I have several before that.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Uh, The Fruit of Grisalia was a great series, probably more up Angela's alley just because of the genre. Plunderer was eh. Um, and here's one that a lot of people don't really remember. Well, they might remember it if they saw the clip. Have you ever seen the video clip of the girl saying she hates Sundays and then turns on the TV and starts dancing?
Probably.
That would be Engaged to the Unidentified, which is right above Testament of Sister New Devil.
Okay.
Basically, girl is engaged to a guy from the Wolf Clan. So he's actually they can transform back and forth.
Interesting. A Whisker Away was also really good. I know that's
Never heard of it.
going more into a movie, uh, as opposed to an anime series, but that was pretty good as well. For you rom com lovers out there, Yamada's First Time B got a HK was very funny.
I made it 5 episodes into that and dropped it, or at least put it on hold. I don't remember because it was too cringe.
It is very cringe, but it's very predictable. It's also a 2010 anime, so it's 13 years old now. Oh my gosh. Another good romance anime, but the and Casey and I were talking about this earlier. World End. What are you doing at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? Which actually is the shirt I'm wearing tonight. It was a very good romance anime. Nice pacing for the first, say, 10 episodes, and then a rushed finish to the first season. And Russ says, Darren, you are wrong about the one earlier. It's not entirely wolves, but shapeshifters.
I'm sorry, Ross. It's been 8 years,
That's
and
the great
also
thing
the
about our
old
listeners. You know, they know their stuff.
And on top of that, the opening for that show is incredibly catchy, by the way.
For which one?
For Engaged to the Unidentified, it is incredibly upbeat and, like I said, very entertaining. Especially watching Kobani in the opening bounce around.
Let's see, shows that we've already touched on multiple seasons of Kami-sama Kiss, Baka and Test, Rent a Girlfriend, Date Alive,
The,
Relife.
the Love Rue.
Trying to
Oh,
see
wow.
what's up next that I've actually seen. Love Tyrant.
Yep. That one was,
Interesting.
of course. And then I actually watched Special A. Girls top of her class, but there's this one person that always does everything better than her, and it gets under her skin, and they kind of fall for each other. Like everything he does gets under her skin because he always one ups her. How
Now,
the good.
I was going to say the next show that I just scrolled down and saw, I forgot kind of had had a romance feel to it, but I can understand the romance side of things and the romance tag on this after really thinking about it because I got more wrapped up into the and I hate to say it, I got more wrapped up into the political side of this show than the romance side, and that was how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. And the
Wow.
fact that he actually gains multiple wives in that show.
I got several above you. I got Blade Dance of the Elementars, your typical etchy harem. Uh, bo- let's see. Psycho How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. Actually, a very good series. Guy meets up with a writer and an illustrator that he's friends with. He designs the story for the. He designs the. He does the programming. He wants to create a visual novel, basically. He does the programming. One does the writing. One does the illustrations, and then he picks the most random girl that he met one day that goes to his school, that kind of made his jaw drop as his model for the main character of his game. And then over time, a love triangle develops, and it is a very interesting show. And you get to learn how visual novels are made.
Interesting.
And then let's see, is this Boarding School Juliet?
Yeah,
Basically, a different take on Romeo and Juliet, only with violence.
gotta have the violence.
Yep. In this case, it's the black dogs versus the white cats.
Excuse me.
They all go to the same school. Let's see, Marksman of let's,
Ross
yeah,
says,
Lord Marksman.
I was gonna say, Ross says, honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get with the Wolf Girl and rebuilt the kingdom. Also, I haven't seen Raise a Boring Girlfriend yet. I haven't seen Raise a Boring Girlfriend yet, and I'm uh the Wolf Girl. If you're referring to the girl that can speak to the beasts and stuff, she's really young. So he looked at her more of a little sister, and I was happy about that. I was very happy when he's like, "Oh no, you're like a little sister." A series I don't think I finished. I know I started and I bounced down the list a little bit. Is Girlfriend Girlfriend?
Oh my gosh. You're better off watching Rent a Girlfriend.
And you were one of the ones that was like, "Oh, you gotta check out Girlfriend. It's gonna be a good show." And I
And
was
it turned out to be
like, a dumpster fire.
yes, because the main character is one of the worst, most annoying main characters I've ever come across.
And of course, a sister's all you need. That was actually a really good show.
Yep, it really was. And several, because mostly because you got to learn all about different kinds of games. That was probably the most entertaining part of the show, or at least
And,
the most informative.
and this is something that kind of funny. We've gone through the first two pages on my anime list, so scrolled past 200 animes, and
We've seen quite a bit of them.
we've seen a lot of them. And there's one show that came to mind for romance anime I haven't seen yet,
Hmm.
and it was a great show, and I think you liked it as well. So I'm
Well,
gonna.
there definitely is a show that's been on here that I haven't mentioned yet. That I started, I need to finish, and actually has really good ratings and for a very good reason. And that's The World God Only Knows.
That I started that, but I haven't finished it. It's interesting, and but didn't really suck me in to be like I need to keep watching this. It was more of a casual. Okay, let's check this out, and it was just eh. I have scrolled over to page 3 here. Um, of course, going we've talked about My Bride is a Mermaid that was brought up in chat. School Rumble, forgot about the romance in that. That was kind of a triangle where Tenma likes this particular boy, the bad boy, the delinquent, kind of falls for Tenma, and comedy ensues. Kiss X Sis we talked about already. Freezing. It's interesting that that was considered romance. A lot of action, a lot of weirdness in that. Definitely etchy.
About to say titillating action.
Pretty much.
Kanajo Real Girl, that actually was a very um wholesome series. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. It did have a sad backstory behind it. Let's see, what else have I seen out here?
Oh, Maidens in Your Savage Season. Isn't that one that you got me to watch?
Yes, and for good reason. And then we got Citrus's clone, Bloom Into You, which a lot of people that are Yuri fans said was better than Citrus and vice versa. Oh, wow. Let's see, Remake Our Life, I haven't seen. Did you watch Welcome to the Ballroom?
No.
Okay, I think that was Xerac that. Oh, I'm just gonna say we're getting toward one of my favorites.
Hensuki?
Further below that, but yes, Hensuki is an interesting one.
Hensuki was an interesting one. Um, World Break was another one. I have to go back and rewatch that to understand fully where the romance is because all I can think of is the action of it. But I do believe there was some love interests in that. Um, Mysterious Girlfriend X, I know you talked about that a lot.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Um, Despite the weirdness of it, Urabe is adorable, and Uribe is Bay. But there's actually one right next to it that I actually watched on a whim and actually was pretty good. And that is The World is Still Beautiful. The one literally right next to it.
And it looks like Angela is here to join us.
I don't see a camera.
Can you hear us all right, Ange? I think she's still trying to get things situated, so we'll bring her back on in just a minute.
But The World is Still Beautiful was actually quite interesting. You have a girl from another kingdom that can summon the rain whenever she sings, and the king, which is a young boy, which was kind of promoted to the throne because of, uh, you know what happens in royal lineage. People get killed for various reasons and gets passed on down to the next person. Then she gets summoned to the kingdom for some reason. Um, oh, that's right. There's almost no rain in this kingdom, and she has the ability to summon the rain.
Hello, Ange. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you guys. I'm driving.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm not the one driving this week.
So we're just running down the list of romance animes on the My Anime List page, touching on the shows that we've seen.
Oh, you skipped over World Break,
I talked about
considering that's
World
one of
Break.
your. Oh, you did?
Yep, I
Oh,
talked
that's
about
good.
World Break. Also up next was I couldn't become a hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job. That is definitely a rom com.
That's definitely an older one that I forgot about that I need to watch still.
10 years old, came out in 2013.
Wow.
And even older than that, Oni AI.
Wow.
Um, did you talk about no wait. Uh you haven't seen Grand Crest Senkai, have you?
Nope.
Okay, there is actually a really good romance behind that. Basically, two kings are about to marry off their children. Their children are in love with each other to form basically the greatest power. Um, the basic it's called the Grand Crest, and it's supposed to give you control or power over most things in the world. And it's interrupted by something, I forget what. And those that lay witness to it are kind of scattered. And then one of the girls that's there meets up with someone from another kingdom and sees potential in him and basically does everything in her power to make sure he obtains the Grand Crest and the throne. And basically, a romance develops between those two, and it actually is pretty good.
I am scrolling ahead a little. Oh, there it is. Finally on page 3. It's down a little ways, but the one that came to mind, that is a really good romance anime. I'm surprised it had to go to page 3 to actually find it.
Uh, I've I've seen so little romance anime. That's not
Um,
necessarily something I seek out.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary how many shows I've watched that fall into the romance genre.
Yeah, I probably have at least 100.
I'm probably right there with you. Um, Fuka was a good series.
Agreed. Um, Go watch Suzuka. That was the original because that is that. Fuka is Suzuka's daughter. That is confirmed. Uh, oh, you didn't watch this Art Club Has a Problem, did you?
No,
That was interesting for the fact, you know how our main character from Nagatoro loves to paint?
yeah,
Well, so does our main character here, but he only draws 2D anime girls, and basically he is waifu obsessed, even though your main girl here is trying to get him to come back to reality, mostly through her to an extent. And a somewhat romance develops between those two.
now the one show that I had that came to mind that like I have to scroll like halfway down the page of page 3 to find is Shuffle.
Yes.
I'm surprised that we had to go to page 3 to find this, and that came out in 2005. Oh my god, I feel old.
Wow.
Don't we all?
That was my second anime I think I watched. Yeah, it was my second anime.
And Shuffle is just such a good show. If you haven't seen it, I recommend that everybody needs to check this show out. It is just really, really good. The characters are fun, good storyline.
Especially since Best Girl won.
Yeah, I got nothing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, good.
I know you're driving and you're probably going through some areas where it may cut in and out, but
Yeah, I think we're past that because we're about to get on 95.
That feels weird considering 95 runs all the way down here too.
it goes all the
And
way to Florida.
that's my
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
Doug, did you watch My Wife as the Student Council President?
No, you recommended it, but I never actually watched it.
It's a 8 episode series. It's a 8 minute series, and that was why. Basically, at the girls' um acceptance speech for student council president, she's literally throwing out condoms into the crowd.
Good God.
Liberation of, I forget. It was something of liberation, and then of course she gets into it with the morals committee. It's always the student council and the morals committee getting into it.
Yeah.
Just always interesting.
So I have to ask, since you guys were going down the list, the one romance anime other than Dress Up Darling that I've watched at all is Bakuman.
We didn't even touch on that one because I haven't seen it, and I don't think Doug has either.
No, I haven't.
The reason
And there she went.
Yep. And I was just about to get into a show that she started watching. That is a romance anime, and that's Banished from the Heroes Party,
Yep.
which I want to take a moment and talk about a show that was recommended to me. Called by I think it was somebody in the chat was like, you got to check out Beast Tamer. It has a very similar feel to Banished from the Heroes Party, which I watched. And if you haven't seen Beast Tamer, I'll give you the top 3 reasons why you need to check it out. Number 3, adorable girls, adorable characters. And welcome back, Ange.
All right, I give.
Welcome to
But
my life, because normally that's my role.
yeah, I know. But my role playing our GM showed up almost an hour late, so we started almost an hour late, so we ended an hour late.
Makes logical sense.
It happens.
Exactly.
But I
But
was just talking about the next one on the list was one that you had. I showed you an episode or two from, and it piqued your interest enough that you wanted to check it out yourself, and that was Banished from the Heroes Party.
that's a romance?
Adventure, fantasy, romance.
No
Banished from the
shit.
Heroes. Yeah, because of Reet.
Yep. Because of
Well,
Red and Reed.
I didn't actually get back to watching that.
Well, sorry we spoiled it.
No, that's fair. The episode 1 piqued my interest. It happens.
And Ross is the one that suggested Beast Tamer to me, that had a very similar feel in the opening episode to Banished from the Heroes Party. And I was going through the top 3 reasons that people should check out Beast Tamer, because I haven't really heard people talking about it. Number 3, adorable anime girls doing some adorable things and kicking some ass. Number 2, the Heroes Party is really made out to be the bad guys in this show, which you don't normally see. When you see a fantasy anime that involve a hero's party trying to beat a demon lord, they're made out to be these amazing people, and everybody looks up to them. And in this series, the hero's party is made out to be the dirtbags.
Particularly the hero himself,
The
because
hero
they just
himself
kind
is
of,
an ass.
yeah, the others just kind of feed off of him, because whenever they try to talk back, he threatens them.
And
That, as twisted as this, that sounds almost like The Boys.
And the number
Where-
one reason to check out Beast Tamer, it's a fantasy, not an isekai.
I am skeptical of this.
It's an actual fantasy. The main character, Rain, is not isekai'd into that world. He is a beast tamer. He just so happened the village that he grew up in that was destroyed by a demon. He learned how to tame beasts better than any other beast tamer in the world, apparently. And all the people who trained him to learn all these abilities are now gone. So there's no real history because the whole village was destroyed.
Yep.
Aye.
Oh, and Ross, which show were you talking about that I was culture on?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. But we'll go down a little bit more on the romance end of things, and then we will jump on to some other topics. Showman Sample was an interesting one.
Muscle. That's the running gag on that one.
Yeah. Student council wife is the student council president's wife.
My wife is a student council president. That was yes.
Inuyasha romance anime.
Oh, let's see. We never learn.
My girlfriend is show bitch.
Yes.
Love Hina, Clannad. Aho-chan can't study.
Yes. Aho-chan can't study. That was actually kind of cute. Sakura Trick, one of the first Yuri anime I watched. Defying human logic, of course.
Oh, wait a minute. It
Chrono
just dawned.
Crusade was romance?
What?
It just dawned on me that one of the animes that I have seen technically would also be romance. Did you guys watch Yuri on Ice?
Nope.
Yes.
Boys love, technically romance, kind of, sort of.
Yep.
Granted, I labeled it as sports trash. Granted, I labeled it as sports trash, and again, not something, not one I picked that season, but watched the whole thing, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was, the art style was well done. The story was enjoyable. Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Ooh, I forgot about several of these.
That just speaks for itself.
The rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. That was cute. Then we have the romance ecchi anime that kind of kick-started the ecchi anime trend, in my opinion, and that's Kanokon. The Girl Who Cried Fox. Do you remember that one, Doug?
No, I've never seen that one.
The one where the fox girl and the was it the wolf?
I have not seen that.
And those, yep, wolf. Fox and wolf. That kind of started the whole ecchi genre of shows airing shortly afterward, I think. It was cute. She was definitely aggressive, but she was cute.
Then we had a couple of cuckoos. And I never finished that one.
There's two on here that I've heard a lot about that I haven't started, but my friends have raved about, and they have multiple seasons. Working is one of them. It's got almost an 8. And then the other is White Album. And as far as I know, White Album is a classic that I should have watched a long time ago.
But I think that's enough chatting about the different romance animes. Another topic that I wanted to talk about was how our tastes in anime have changed over the years. Because I've noticed that a lot of shows that I enjoyed when I was younger, I don't tend to go back to stuff like that. Like when I first got into anime, I was, Rosario Vampire, or I should say when I first got back into anime, was Rosario Vampire, Girls Bravo, a lot of the really ecchi harem stuff like that. And loved watching those shows. You jump to nowadays and you have Peter Grill, and I'm like, this is just stupid. There really isn't much difference thinking about that and like Girls Bravo. And I'm like, I liked Girls Bravo much more than I've enjoyed Peter Grill.
There hasn't really been a good ecchi anime since
Interspecies Reviewers.
Even before then. Interspecies Reviewers was good, but at the same time, in terms of quality ecchi anime, let's see. High School DxD was definitely one of them, including season 4. Testament of Sister New Devil was one of the better ones. I'm trying to think. I really am. There hasn't really been any good ecchi anime in quite a while. Redo of Healer is just, well, that one speaks for itself.
Pretty much.
Rising
no, I think
isn't exactly ecchi.
What was that, Ange?
No, just kind of getting on that whole taste changing in general. When I first got into anime, I didn't know enough to pick out what I liked. So I pretty much watched what everyone else wanted.
Yep.
And then, so subsequently, as it became more mainstream, more accessible, I pretty much became, much like every other media, I'm picky. I'm just very picky about what I like. But my taste is so all over the place that it's just give me something with a good story and I'm sold.
We tried that with a couple, and you weren't sold on it.
Well, the one that disappointed me was Call of the Night. I tried.
HH says, well, Bofuri is turning into an ecchi and could be far more now that Maple has spaced into tentacles.
Bofuri is fucking amazing. I love it. It is so cute, so awesome, and parts of it hit a little close to home.
And Syrup is still best sidekick.
Agreed.
Agreed, but I got to admit, I kind of like the snake.
The sisters getting matching teddy bears was the most adorable thing.
Can you say Kuma 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 Bear? Especially when the bears were running and all they were saying was Kuma Kuma.
Yep, and then they got Kuma Bear's colors.
White and black. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, Bofuri is awesome, and if you're not watching it, you should be.
You should be watching.
And after Maple picks up the tentacles, I'm sure there's going to be Bofuri hentai coming out.
That would not surprise me in the slightest. I'd be surprised if it doesn't exist already.
I'm sure it does, but now tentacles definitely confirmed.
Well, yes. All right. I hate this road.
Well, also, what do you think of one of our girls' doppelganger? She basically got a ditto.
That, I'm not gonna lie, that was I thought that was fitting.
I can't wait to see if she tries to pull anything with that.
One thing I have to say about Bofuri is I have really enjoyed the storyline, and I think the creator of Bofuri has done a really, really good job at getting the viewers and the readers sucked into this video game world. And you feel the emotions, and you are right there like rooting for Maple when things are going. And you're rooting for the different players, and you have the players that you love, and you have the players in this game that you hate but love to hate, because it's a friendly rivalry, like Sally's rival there, the blonde girl. Like, you kind of want to hate her because she's so arrogant and constantly like gets her butt kicked, but she's still a lovable character.
But then there's no real bad guy, and it's fantastic. There's all the rivalries.
Yeah, there's a ton of rivalries, but it's all like
the rivalries are all fun. Like it's not a matter of life and death. It's, oh, I'm going to beat you in the next big event.
It's a sports anime.
It is, but it's not, and it's just it's one of my favorites.
It's an esports anime. We'll call it that since it's gaming.
There you go.
And if I could, and if I would wear Maple's armor as a dress, I love that. But
there are definitely some cool outfits in the in that series. That's for sure.
Wait, we are all keeping caught up with Bofuri. We haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, even when we're all watching a show, there's been at least one of us who
Disconnected.
Yep.
Go
Been at
check.
least one of us who did just what she did right there. Fall off.
It's a good time to play a quick show ID.
Hello, this is Sebastian Michaelis, and you're listening to Anime-Zing Radio on the Hazy Radio.
I'm pretty sure that radio network doesn't exist.
Yeah, Hazy Radio is gone. That's why it's like, okay, stop stop before it gets to that point, because all the promos that I have are still attached to Hazy Radio. All the promos that we got on Blog Talk are one big audio file that Angela has.
Whoa.
This is Happy the Cat, and you're listening to Anime-Zing Radio on the Hazy.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
I will give one credit. The fact that you were able to do other stuff beforehand might have saved you from copyright issues if you'd have gone straight to YouTube.
Yeah. Because I was able to see kind of what other YouTubers and stuff were doing beforehand.
So you could try and avoid the legal battles.
Yeah.
But then again, if you got a big enough following, sometimes you can get those legal battles ignored or overturned.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But we don't really want to get to those legal battles, so.
Yeah, we don't got no money.
Pretty much. And the fact that the voice actors themselves were more than happy to provide us with the show IDs is amazing in and of itself. And hello, Shark. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Hello, HH, and everybody who's tuning in tonight. Hello to all of you who are listening through the podcasting sites. We hope you're enjoying the show tonight. We've had a lot of fun talking about the romance anime. I know Valentine's Day was earlier this week, so thought it'd be fun talking about some of our favorite romance shows and stuff like that. And even shows that we forgot were romance. I guarantee you, if Angela gets home and goes through the romance page for my anime list, she's going to be shocked at the amount of shows she watches that has a romance tag. Just like you and I are.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. And talking about, Angela was touching on how it's weird. We're all keeping up with Bofuri, which, almost never happens. I know there's going to be a little bit of a delay.
Till March.
Until March now for the next episode, which makes me sad. But we're watching a lot of other shows. I was able to catch up with the latest episode of By the Grace of the Gods just before the show came on tonight. And that is still such a good show. It's one of those wholesome feel-good shows, in my opinion. Like, it's not a fantastic, it's not a barn burner of a show. It's not the next greatest thing. It's just a fun, feel-good show. You kind of root for the main character. It's crazy to see what he's able to accomplish. And there's still some cute characters and stuff. And welcome back, Angela.
There we go.
She is at home.
It cut out again, but I was like 2 minutes from home and had to find parking, so there we go.
And we've jumped over to talking about the shows that we are watching this season. I was able to catch up on By the Grace of the Gods, and as I was saying before you were able to rejoin us, that it's not a show that's going to take the world by storm. It's just a fun, feel-good story. You root for the main character because, yes, it's an isekai, which I know turns a lot of people off. but it's a cute storyline. The characters are fun. A little bit of romance that you can see developing between two 11-year-olds. But it's like you can tell it's like childhood love interests. But that's not the main story. It's just kind of like a side story that's going along as you follow the life of Ryoma, who was reincarnated like probably mid-30s businessman who died because he sneezed in his sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what's weirder, the powers they get once they're there, or how they got to the world in the first place.
I mean, the creative. I give him credit for the creativeness. That's for sure.
Nope. I am actually we're not watching a whole lot this season.
Have you
Well,
started our little challenge yet?
no, because I've been busy. But I have tomorrow off, so tomorrow will be a good time to catch up on stuff because Near came back from its hiatus. So I have at least 2 episodes of that to catch up on.
And I'm not gonna get to Goblin Slayer probably until next weekend.
And I binged Doug's recommendation of Shine Post Friday because I was rained out.
And Ross was
Actually,
asking, "How was your vacation, Angela? Hope it was good."
Haven't had vacation this year, but things have been good. Can't complain.
I think he was picking on you about not joining us Super Bowl Sunday for obvious reasons. You had the family stuff to do, and
Yep. And then
I also want to, speaking of that, thank you to all of you who tuned in and watched the show last Sunday and commented and interacted with us. It was amazing to see the turnout that we had, knowing it was Super Bowl Sunday. And really, it kind of blew my mind to see how many views we actually had in a 24-hour span. So thank you so much for that. It means the world to us.
yep.
Because I know so many people out there were paying attention to the Super Bowl, whether your team was in it or not. I got to see maybe 3 minutes of actual game time. And in those 3 minutes, I got to see the Eagles quarterback fumble the ball and Kansas City run it back for a touchdown. And then I saw the game-winning field goal.
That was the ending of that game was dumb.
But they played it out how they needed to win, because you don't want to give Philadelphia any time. Yes, he could have ran that in for a touchdown with a minute something left on the clock.
I know why they did it. It's the stupid penalty call is what I got upset about, but
Oh, I don't think I saw that. I just saw like him take the run and take a knee at the 1 yard line, and
well, yeah, that, and then there was a penalty call, and then there was a questionable penalty call, which ate more time. But we're getting into the nitty-gritty of football, and
that's not what we're talking about tonight.
No. Anime.
Unless you're talking Eye Shield 21. That's the only football anime there is.
I didn't know there was a football anime.
The main reason I know about it is because Giga has talked about it, saying it is literally one of the only American football anime that exists.
That is fair. Speaking of, I was actually amused by one of their recent trash taste where they actually spent a significant amount of time talking about anime instead of giving each other shit for not watching it.
Yep. I watched it. I actually watched it, and I
I
think
did too.
Doug did too.
And
I watched it in like 3 days.
and I
And
listened to a large chunk of it while doing other things. And
do you want to know something funny?
what?
Doug touched on a lot of topics they did last Sunday before watching it without even realizing that he was touching on the same subjects.
Everything from sports anime to school days to I laugh
To My Hero Academia being overrated.
to who the hell is still watching Data Live?
Yeah, because you
Because
got thrown
I
under the bus
dropped it
there.
in season 4. I'm like, season 3, in my opinion, was the best season of Data Live. Season 4, I couldn't finish. I tried it in Japanese and in English, and it was just I couldn't do it. So the resemblance of what we talked about and what they talked about was kind of scary, especially where I hadn't seen it yet. I didn't start watching it until Monday.
And I was not luring you into those conversations either.
No.
No, you guys, it was just funny. Joey, I believe it was Joey's commentary about My Hero goes almost hand in hand with what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because
It,
is it high quality? Not
I thought that was
necessarily.
I thought that was Connor's commentary.
I, I thought it was Joey, but it might have been. But the whole is it worth either of you going back and watching it? No.
no.
But it's still but it's gotten better. It's enjoyable. I'm really liking it.
It was Connor is right there with me where we watched into season 4 and then was like, okay, I've had enough. And I think it was Joey and Garnt who are like, well, this character who was annoying in early seasons is now a better character in late seasons, and da 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 da. And it's like, you're still not going to get me back into the show. I know they talked about Chainsaw Man was really good. It was one of the few animes that had a ton of hype before it came out and actually lived up to it.
For the most part.
I also like how they talked about Attack on Titan being too long.
I will agree. I'm annoyed. It just needs to hurry up, or they should have waited, released it all at once and been done with it. That said, I'm still going to watch it because I'm committed at this point.
You
I'm just going to be cranky about it being released in this ridiculous way.
Well, and you know the reason that they did it is people are spending the money. People are still invested.
I also would not be surprised if some of it pertains to COVID.
Possibly.
With all of the production delays we've been seeing, even to this day.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm sure you've seen the guest announcements for Anime Boston thus far.
Yep.
Which I will say, and it's kind of weird to say this, knowing how much I have always enjoyed having, talking with J. Michael Tatum and Brandon. I've seen them so much at conventions that it's like I'm more excited about Emmy Lowe going to Anime Boston than Tatum or Brandon. And that's taking nothing away from either of them. It's just we've seen them so much at so many cons, especially where for years when AAC was in Manchester, they were a staple every year. Since AAC moved, they haven't been back. But
Yeah.
and John is asking Angela, what's your favorite romance anime?
Well, I think on the list of anime I've seen, there's a total of 3.
Attack on Titan.
No.
I'm pretty sure you've seen more than that, Angela.
I guarantee if you went through the anime the romance tab because there's over 2,000 anime that have the romance tag
You know
on
what?
them.
I'm gonna take the. No, I think at this point, based on what I've seen, I'm actually gonna give that to Dress Up Darling.
Because SAO is also romance.
Is it really?
Yep,
Yes, it is.
action, adventure, fantasy, romance.
Okay.
Kirito and Asuna and all the other girls.
I
Later
cannot.
in later in
You know what?
Aliciazation, Alice goes after him too.
I Sword Art's up there on my top list. However, I can't actually. However, because of one specific story arc, just
Gun
no.
Gale.
No, Gun Gale was awesome. The story
Gun
arc,
Gale. Are you talking about Alfheim?
Alfheim was shit. Asuna being rendered useless and a waste of space just was not okay with me.
I agree. But I'll say Aliciazation is the best of the bunch.
I will actually 100% agree with that. The Gun Gale spinoff was also really good.
I remember that. I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about. I do like Sinon a little bit more than Asuna, but Alice is hands down my favorite.
Yeah, no, the Gun Gale spinoff came before Alice.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, I will 100% agree. Aw. Ross is saying Silica doesn't get a lot of love. Silica's actually pretty cute.
She is, but
But no, the Alice arc I really enjoyed. Not sure where they're gonna go with that next.
Other animes that have a romance tag include Prison School and Fate. I don't know if you've watched either of those.
Nope.
Relife. Obviously, My Dress Up Darling. High School DxD. I don't know if you saw Spice and Wolf or not. That's an older series.
Heard of it, never seen it.
It's actually really good.
it's a classic that I haven't seen myself.
Trying to see what else. I mean, you started.
Did
You
you
gave a
do
couple
Darling in the
episodes.
Franxx?
Wait, what? Both of you were
Did you
talking.
watch Sorry, did you watch Darling in the Franxx?
Nope.
Call of the Night, technically romance, but you only started it. You didn't get far into it.
I tried. It was It was too poorly. It was too poorly written for me.
Oh wow. Going back to the first page, I see quite a few I skipped over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plastic Memories. Gekken Shoujo Nozaki-kun. Blue Spring Ride.
What?
No Game, No Life Zero.
Okay, we've hit one I've heard of.
Which one was that? Blue Spring Ride?
No Game, No Life.
Yeah, this is the movie, not the series.
I have not seen it, any of it. I've heard of it.
How about School Days?
How about no?
Oh, Doug. Here is one with a legendary line that I will not repeat on air. That's Kokoro Connect.
I don't think I've seen that.
I will, after the show goes off, I will tell you the line that is famous in that show because it is not appropriate on the air.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
But I guarantee you've seen the screenshot.
Probably. And I on that tone of famous lines, and I know Angela wasn't here last week, but I think she will agree when I say that probably one of the new best lines in anime is, "Hi Maple, nice tentacles." Wait, what?
Yup. I can't
As
argue with that.
as Sally just nonchalantly walks into the maple tree, around the meeting table and sees Maple and just, "Hi Maple, nice tentacles," and then it hits. And I put that up there as probably one of my favorite lines. It's right up there with Strike Witch's season 2, episode 7, when Hartman slaps Barkhorn's butt because of a Noroi bug that was in her underwear, and Barkhorn just screams, "Ah, my ass!" And just the way it happened was absolutely hysterical and has just resonated with me since I saw that one episode. Just the sheer way things happened.
Hmm.
And I'm sure we all have those moments. And I was watching one of the YouTubers that I like to watch, and there's this series out called Camp Minecraft. I've talked about this before with Sigils and Jerome ASF, Zud, and a lot of other YouTubers who play Minecraft get together and create the series. Jerome I've talked about before because he's very unique. He's just Jerome. The way he plays the games and stuff, he just does his own thing. And there's a heated argument going on between Zud and Sigils. They get Jerome involved to try to help resolve this dispute, which Jerome's just like, "I blame Zud," and takes off. And you have Sigil's point of view where he's talking with Zud and they're arguing back and forth. And in the background, you just see Jerome come in a rowboat, just out of nowhere, and Sigils loses it. He can't stay mad anymore. He just starts laughing. And Jerome on land in this boat goes rowing by him. Is like, "Excuse me, pardon me," and just pushes him out of the way as he goes by. And it made me think of another scene in anime from Amagi Brilliant Park where they had a blonde character in that was just a complete and total airhead. And I don't remember what was going on. There was something like important going on in the scene, and in the background she goes flying by on a rolly chair going, "I'm on a luge."
I thought you meant I'm a helicopter.
Oh, it's that same girl. It's the same girl as "I'm a helicopter," but she goes by on a rolly chair in the background going, "I'm on a luge." And then she comes back with 3 other people on rolly chairs holding on to her going, "We're a bobsled."
Yep. Yep, we have an anime bobsled team.
And Angela is going to be the manager.
Okay.
She's like, "Wait, what?"
Nah, I'm gonna manage a bobsled team. Okay, whatever.
Of idiots.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, about to say I'll be in the front seat.
Okay.
I honestly think bobsled would be fun. I would love to attempt that.
Incredibly dangerous sport, but yes, I kind of agree with you.
Actually, so do I.
The crazy thing is Lake Placid is not far from me, where they held the Winter Olympics.
If the 3 of us did a bobsled, I'd probably end up having, just for weight distribution, have to be the one in front.
I would probably be the one in the back, maybe, because I only weigh 120-ish, maybe 130.
I'm 2 something. Angie isn't saying.
You don't have to say anything, Ange.
I'm not. I'm just gonna leave it as I'm tiny.
So for aerodynamic reasons, Ange would be in front. Because she could act as the windshield to deflect the air over the taller people behind her.
Ross in the chat is saying, can we all agree that one of the dirtiest and freakiest romance anime is A Classic Future Diary?
I've never seen it.
Not far from the freakiest. Well, actually, it is one of the freakiest. I take that back because is batshit crazy, and I love it.
Oh God. I've never seen that one, but there was
I don't
The
know if you'd like Shuffle or not. Shuffle was a really good anime though.
I think she would because of the dark take on quite a few characters' events in life.
It has a really good storyline. I will say that much.
I am a sucker for a good story.
It does have a good story, and the fact that it's based off a visual novel probably helps.
That depends.
It's also an older anime.
Yeah, it's quite
Older-
old. It was originally a PC game that was rated 18 plus.
Okay. You said Shuffle?
Shuffle.
With an exclamation point.
Of course.
And now I'm trying to find it and I can't. And I know it was on page 3.
Oh, let's try to find it.
Oh, there it is. And it's 24 episodes and it came out in 2005. It's a comedy, drama, fantasy, romance, ecchi.
Yes.
Reading the description now.
And I will be honest, I watched Shuffle based off of the characters. Not at the time, I didn't like. I the animes I watch, I was like, do the girls, are the characters cute, or do they look interesting enough to take a chance? That one was, and I didn't regret it. There are some
Fair
shows.
fair enough. I've watched some pretty dark anime.
There's one character in particular in that series that has a dark story to her, and I think you would like that.
Mm.
You know who I mean, right, Doug?
I believe so.
And then of course you have one that's got a sick she's got split personalities. One is quite devious.
And you have the childhood friend.
I'm not talking about the childhood friend.
Oh no,
Remember,
I just said, and there's a childhood friend.
yeah, I already mentioned her. She was not the one I meant by split personalities.
Oh, I know.
And then you have Best Girl, who I'm not going to say who it is. But she won. And that is the good part about that. I like how he ends up making a decision, which is very rare in a lot of romance animes. And also the fact that it actually took almost the full 24 episodes to get to that conclusion.
It kind of gave it some closure,
Yes.
which you don't always get.
No, you really don't. I mean, and that's one thing the boys were talking about the other day. Giga hates romance anime because there's no closure 9 times out of 10. It's just the dating part. It's never the after the dating.
I mean, anime. I think part of the reasons also that our tastes change in time for the shows that we watch is because anime has changed so much since when we started watching it. You know, Shuffle's a perfect example. You have a really good love story. Yes, there's a harem aspect to it. Multiple girls are interested in the same guy, but in the end, he actually makes a decision. It's not like Infinite Stratos, where the main male character has like 9 girls throwing themselves at him, and he's too stupid to realize what's going on. One of them even calls him her wife. Gotta love the Russian chick.
Laura Bodvig. No, wait, no. That was German. Russian. Was
But
that season? Was that season 2?
I think so. She was
I was
the
about
white
to say,
hair with the eye
I
patch.
think I stalled on season 2.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Anime has evolved over the years as it's become more mainstream. And as it's become more mainstream, there's more money, which means you get better quality content.
But I think the stories are lacking now. I think that's one thing that was so enjoyable about anime 10, 12, 15 years ago. The stories were so much better than they are now. And now it's almost, and we've talked about this with isekai, but you can talk about it in many of the genres of anime. They're just cookie cutters. Same
And
idea with a little bit of
and
different
you know what?
flavoring to it.
And you know what? When I first started watching anime, the stuff I really enjoyed more was the shonen stuff. And now there's very little of it that's not cookie cutter.
And isekais are cookie cutter. You hear isekai immediately, you think main character in another world, overpowered, gets all the bitches.
When I hear isekai, I think garbage. But
There is one show that is isekai that is not garbage that I'm pretty sure. Wait, I think we're trying to get you to watch it. Are you watching Slime?
no.
Okay, who was it that was watching Slime?
What? The reincarnated as a slime?
Yes.
Most of my friends are watching that.
And you should too, because it actually has some of the best world building in anime.
Didn't read the description, didn't interest me at all.
I would
Give
say
it a-
give it a 3-episode trial.
I do too, because you would be surprised.
Because it's one of those shows that after the isekai happens, it doesn't feel like an isekai. It feels more of a fantasy world. It just uses the isekai aspect to get to the fantasy world.
Yep, and he rarely has flashbacks. I think about it, he has one flashback for good reason. His poor computer.
Meh.
His friend did what he was supposed to.
No promises on that one.
I will say I am excited about because I know coming up is going to be more seasons.
Season 3, 2024.
Like the spring season that is going to be coming out in April. There are so many sequels that I am excited about, even more so than for this season. Darren's long-awaited Tonikawa season 2 comes out.
Yep.
We get more Konosuba.
Yay.
Ancient Magus' Bride season 2. Season 2 of Smartphone. Season 2 of Kuma Bear. So I've got...
I think Masamune got pushed off again. Is that right?
I think so. And then speaking of isekai, one that I know just by the title of it, Angela is going to call it crap, which it's probably going to be crap, but I'm probably still going to watch it. Called Summon to Another World for a Second Time.
That's where the guy is reincarnated more than once. So an interesting Well, it is a different take on isekai.
And I like how some of these isekais are now poking fun at the isekai genre. Like
Yep.
the main character's like, "Oh look, I'm getting isekai'd." How typical. And I kind of laugh because growing up we always heard about reincarnation. Now it's just going to turn into getting isekai. No more reincarnation. We're just going to get isekai.
Yep.
We're going to come back as a vending machine or an apple.
Speaking of isekai, I recommend getting on the Eminence in Shadow.
I've been kind of looking at it, potentially starting it, but I haven't really started it yet.
It was one of the best animes from last season. It had a really good finale, and it's got a major announcement coming up, and I'm really hoping and praying it's a season 2 because they're just getting started.
And which shows have you been keeping up with, Ange, outside of Bo Fury?
Well, I'm currently one episode behind on Trigon.
Midland Saga.
I'm nowhere near caught up with that.
Shame on you.
I'm either completely caught up or one episode behind on My Hero Academia. We're caught up with Legend of Heroes, Northern War. And then Ruby dropped yesterday. So watching Ruby.
And I know that we've talked about Tomo-chan before. Darren saying that there's a character in there that reminds him of you.
Yep.
I did sit down last week and binge 6 episodes. And yes, I can kind of agree. I do see some of your personality in that character. And if I say that she kind of gives off the Wednesday Addams vibe, I think you understand.
We did watch Wednesday. That was good.
I'm sure you've seen the meme going around of Wednesday and the blonde-haired girl, and then the dark-haired girl and the blonde chick from Tomo.
I have not.
Where did I get that link from?
But
Did you send that to me, Darren?
I might have.
See if you can find that and send that to Ange. I'm not sure. I know somebody had sent it to me, but I don't remember who.
Let me find my phone. Hold on.
But no. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's I don't necessarily have enough time to watch anything.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think that's another thing too. As we get older, we don't have the time to do the stuff that we've really wanted to do. We get too much responsibilities.
And like looking ahead for the spring season, there's really the one thing on that list that I'm actually excited for is Demon Slayer, and we're not even caught up with that. God.
But my God, we are just about out of time. God, time flew.
Yes.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Next week, there will not be a show. I will be traveling back from Syracuse and have no idea what time I'm going to get home. So rather than try to rush home from there and last minute put together a show, I figured it'd be nice to just have a relaxing night for everybody. Darren can catch up on his sleep.
What is that?
Normally what you do when we have a guest on. And
Or I'll do a. I say this and then I'll forget. Or I'll do set up something like an AMA and let people ask questions.
we
That
will
would be
be
interesting. I want to see what people have to ask me.
we will be back on March 5th as Angela has set up a guest for us then.
Yep.
We have Aaron joining us. I forget. God, I'm drawing a blank. I'll let you set that up.
Yep. But they expect some anime chatter, expect some gaming chatter, and expect some how the worlds connect.
We also may do a small change in our format in the near future as well to have more chats like we had tonight and cut back on the guests. Still bring guests on a couple times a month, but keep some shows open for just us to bullshit. The fun stuff like we did tonight. But until March 5th, when I return, if Ange and Darren want to put on a show next week, feel free. You're more than welcome to. And maybe I'll join in if I get home before the end of the show. I should be home before that. But if you guys want to do a nice Q&A with the fans, go right ahead. That could be fun. Might be fun just to hear what people ask Darren.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Why has he not cosplayed as Nico?
Why would I not cosplay in general?
But on that note, everyone have a wonderful night. Enjoy the anime. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you again right here on March 5th when we have Aaron joining us talking D&D, anime, and who knows what else. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.